The NBA has been a storied league since its creation over 70 years ago. We have been subjected to some of the most athletic and entertaining performances by the world's greatest athletes. Their play on the court dazzles us, inspires, and gives us something to believe in when we see the shows they put on a nightly basis. While their on-the-court performances are always highlight material, it's their off-the-court performances that grab our attention as well. The NBA is well known for its humanitarian work, but a number of players and their extracurricular activities that baffle us and turn the NBA world on its side. Most of these activities that happen outside of the hardwood aren't too worth noting, but there are other events that occur every few years that rile up the community and shock the world. Some of the events are felonies, others are misdemeanors, and others are petty differences, but they all affect us in some negative light and give us a different view of how we should see the people we call heroes and idols. And here are the 5 moments that shocked the NBA world. Alonzo Mourning's kidney trouble. Taken by the Charlotte Hornets with the 2nd pick in the 1992 NBA draft, Alonzo Mourning was ready to establish himself as one of the more threatening post players in the league. Mourning made an impressive first-year impact with the Hornets by averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. His first 3 seasons with Charlotte were nothing short of amazing, but it was his time with Miami where we saw the true tenacity and ambition that Mourning possessed. The duo he formed with himself and Tim Hardaway made the Miami Heat into a postseason threat year after year and established the storied rivalry with the New York Knicks in the process. Following winning his first Olympic gold medal in 2000, Alonzo Mourning was diagnosed with focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, a rare life-threatening kidney disease that forced Mourning to miss the first 5 months of the season after needing a transplant. Without the transplant, Mourning would likely not be walking on the earth today. It wasn't until December 19, 2003, that Alonzo received the left kidney of his cousin Jason Cooper that saved his life. Since then, Mourning continued to play basketball and won the championship in 2006 that had eluded him for so long. More importantly is that Mourning is healthy now and has established many charities and foundations to fund and research the disease that nearly ended his life almost 2.5 decades ago. Latrell Sprewell versus PJ Carlesimo. Before Latrell Sprewell was an NBA player that can barely feed his family on $10 million per year with a bad attitude on the New York Knicks and Minnesota Timberwolves, Sprewell was an NBA player that had a bad attitude and didn't exactly know how to control his aggression and emotions. Sprewell had quickly established himself as a scorer and dangerous shooter with the Golden State Warriors. He had already made 3 All-Star games and was set to become one of the elite players in the league until one fateful December 1st day where he just couldn't take any criticism anymore from coach PJ Carlesimo. During a practice, Carlesimo criticized Sprewell, telling him to make crisper passes. Latrell didn't take too kindly to the accusations and threatened the coach by telling him that he didn't want to hear it and that he better keep his distance. When PJ disobeyed Spree's orders by approaching him, he threw him down and began to choke the coach for 10 seconds before a teammate managed to disband the two. It was only the first round though, as Sprewell came back 20 minutes later and punched Carlesimo on the face. Latrell was immediately released by the Warriors that time, and despite having a great career with the Knicks and Timberwolves, he will be most remembered for this event. The 2004 USA Basketball Olympic Team. This was not the 1992 Dream Team. This was not the 1996 Dream Team 2. This was not the Redeem Team from 2008 either. This was an epic fail of USA basketball, and it was the first time in Olympic history where the United States basketball team was so awful. With elite players such as Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, and Tracy McGrady declining the invites to join the 2004 USA team, the organizers had to reach when choosing the players to compete on the squad. With 3 rookies in Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and LeBron James joining veterans in Shawn Marion, Lamar Odom, Tim Duncan, and Allen Iverson, expectations were still high that USA would still come away with another gold medal. When they lost 92-73 in the first game against Puerto Rico, it was the most lopsided loss in USA basketball history. They finished with 2 wins and 2 losses in group phase and came away with a 4th seed. They were lucky enough to beat top-ranked Spain in the quarterfinals before losing to Argentina by 8 in the semifinals. They managed to beat Lithuania in the 3rd-place game to win bronze, their first in Olympic history. Luckily, no big names declined in 2008 and the Americans redeemed themselves with a gold medal. The dark side of Marv Albert.
The scene shifts back to New York, to Madison Square Garden.
Tucker from three. Yes! And the foul! Unbelievable!
Marv Albert could be considered the Howard Cosell of our time. He has one of the most memorable voices and play calls of our time and has established himself as a household name when it comes to announcing sporting events. Albert had been the New York Knicks commentator for 37 years, as well as an announcer with NBC. Albert was becoming one of the best announcers in the world and still was even after his charges in 1997 that were, well, a little revealing of his personal life that we knew nothing about. A woman that had claimed to have had a 10-year relationship with Albert stated that the famed announcer had thrown her on a hotel bed, which was then followed with sodomy, biting the woman 15 times and forcing her to do many lewd acts. DNA tests proved that the bite marks were his, and he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and battery charges, while the sodomy charge was dropped. It was also reported that Albert dresses in women's lingerie as one of his thrills. Tim Hardaway doesn't like gay people. Tim Hardaway is and should be recognized as one of the top point guards in NBA history. His dynamic plays and crossover ability made him one of the most recognizable players in the league. Not only that, but he was known for his mouth as well, becoming one of the league's known trash talkers.
Oh, yes! 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 Your face!
When he went on a local radio show in Miami on February 14, 2007, nobody knew his mouth would get him into this much trouble. With the first openly gay basketball player, John Amici, coming out, Hardaway was asked about the possibility of playing with a homosexual basketball player. Tim came up with this gem.
You know that what you're saying there, though, Timmy, is flatly homophobic, right? It's just it's bigotry.
Well, I hate gay people, so I let it be known. I don't like gay people. I don't like to be around gay people. I don't, I'm homophobic. I don't like it. It shouldn't be in the world for that or in the United States for it. So yeah, I don't like it.
Ice cold if I say so myself. The NBA responded by taking out his public appearance in the 2007 All-Star Game after those remarks, and the CBA distancing themselves from him by dismissing Hardaway as Chief Basketball Operations Advisor. He would go on to rescind what he said about the gay community, but what was already said cannot be undone.